Do we want to talk about? You said you were going to set a timer, and that's it. And we're only going to talk about.
Do you want to say your piece first, and then I'll set the timer?
I think that the PGMOL are bullshitters. Firstly, because the stories, this one incident with Luis Diaz has become such a saga, and I think it's because they bullshitted at the beginning about what had actually happened. I've heard the story evolve. Correct me if I'm wrong. From they didn't do a VAR check. They can't have done a VAR check because it was only like 40 seconds and something like that. So there's no way they could have drawn the lines. To the PGMOL saying that they admitted that the wrong decision had been made and that they should have drawn the lines and checked for the offside. To the following day, yesterday, I heard, so then actually what they said is they did draw the lines and check for the offside.
It's barely believable, this.
But the VAR guy thought that the referee on field had given a goal. So he said to the ref, go with the on-field decision. So the ref's like, well, that's not goal. So didn't give a goal. And then they just carried on playing. But surely at the second you see that the guy's given the opposite decision to the one you were telling him to give, you just say, oi, mate, hang on. That's not the right decision. That's not what I meant. Surely you just say that. And I think they should release the audio of it all.
They have to release the audio.
As fans, we deserve to hear the audio.
Because we now know from little bits Howard Webb's done with Sky and TNT that the audio is available for certain incidents to be heard. And 100% that audio has to be heard.
I think it's ridiculous.
Let me know when I should press start so I can fucking rant.
It's ridiculous. And I don't believe anything. They've messed up. There's no way they checked that for offside. My personal opinion is they didn't check it, and they're trying to find a way to get out of the fact that they didn't check it. And it is ridiculous. And I think there's some real big problems with it. There were in the Sheffield United West Ham game, there were 3 handball incidents, which I think all of them might have been given, but we didn't really see much in the replays. And I think on all of those occasions, they just couldn't be bothered because they don't even know what the rule is themselves. So they thought, why bother taking the risk of giving and awarding something when we don't know whether we should or not, and what even the handball rule is anymore. And it was ridiculous. Go on, rant away. Should I go make a cup of tea or something?
You can do if you want, mate. So, first thing is I only watched 3 games at the weekend, partly because of all this nonsense. So I watched Villa Brighton, and I watched Nottingham Forest Brentford yesterday, and obviously I was at Tottenham on Saturday. So I'm only going to talk about incidents from those particular games. If there was others in you didn't mention my team, I'm sorry, right? Brighton had legitimate cause to ask for both Villa's second and third goals to be chalked off because there was potential Zaniolo in Steele's eye line for Watkins' second goal, and on the third goal for me, there's definitely a foul on Solly March in the build-up. Also, the Nottingham Forest Brentford game yesterday definitely should have been, in my opinion, a penalty given to Brentford in the first half for a handball by Dominguez, not the one against Willy Bolly. In the second half, Michael Oliver's the only person I know that doesn't think that's a foul by Matt Turner on Brian Mbeumo. It's absolute. Basically, if he lies on the floor, he gets given a penalty. But because he tries to get up and thinks I can score, he doesn't get a penalty. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely a penalty. However, these decisions are all subjective. They do, at the end of the day, still come to some form of opinion. Michael Oliver did not believe that was a penalty. There may be some other people who are listening or watching who don't believe that's a penalty. There will be others who don't believe it was a handball by Dominguez in the first half. Curtis Jones, for me, is a red card. I don't actually know what the argument is, but again, that's my opinion. For me, I don't, he didn't mean to do Bissouma. No, in my opinion, no, he didn't mean to do Bissouma. But if you go over the top of a football and make contact with someone's standing leg and it's straight and it's still, you're getting sent off. Mm-hmm. No doubt about it. I'm on that side of the ground quite high, and as soon as I saw it was off my feet, I thought it was a red card. I haven't seen the replays. I don't feel any different. It's a red card. Equally, Jota's an idiot. Clearly, the first yellow card is not a yellow card, but he could have been booked a couple of minutes before that, and people aren't showing that back. The second one, he's an idiot lunging in. When he's on a yellow card, you can't make that tackle. You've got to let him go. I have some sympathy with it. Clearly, on the first one, Udogie runs across his line, and as he runs, he clips his foot backwards, and it hits Jota's knee. It's never a booking. Of course it's not. He's unlucky. All of these are subjective. The reason why the Luis Diaz one made me so angry and should make everybody so angry is I think this is the worst decision arguably I've ever seen. Certainly in English top flight football. Maybe there's
from
worse
VAR
ones across the world.
or from any officiating.
Arguably ever in English top flight history. And I'll tell you why. It's because it's matter of fact. There are two things in football that are absolute matter of fact now with VAR and goal line technology. The ball crossing the line for a goal is matter of fact. We all agree with that, right? Everybody likes...
Not if you're
Sheffield United.
Villa, Sheffield United.
Right? Everyone likes goal line technology, right? VAR, the one thing, everybody who knows me knows I've been massively against VAR throughout, but I've had to live with it, that on offside, it's matter of fact. Last season, there was a decision, Arsenal against Brentford, which was really bad, that went against Arsenal, where Ivan Toney scored a goal, where they checked an offside that was onside, and in the next phase, it went across the play. Christian Norgard was offside, but they never drew the lines on him, and a goal was given. That is a massive, massive mistake. You mentioned the Sheffield United one.
The ball crossing the line, yeah.
Goal line technology failed. The VAR and the officials made an absolute cluster of just relying on goal line technology, despite what everybody could see with their eyes. I'd like to reference a goal that Matthias Jensen scored for Brentford against Bournemouth very, very recently, where not a lot of people noticed, but the goal line technology failed. And Bobby Madley and the team got the decision right and gave the goal, and they overruled the fact that goal line technology hadn't worked. And we never talk about those things when it's right. We just go, but they got it right. Because, of course, that's their job. Never, ever, ever have I known a football team be awarded a goal and not get given the goal.
Were they awarded the goal?
By fact, that's what happened. The VAR official deemed that it was a goal. That's the conclusion that was drawn. So the original after the statement of, it's a massive human error, it was then briefed to several of the significant media teams, such as Dale Johnson at ESPN, and then was obviously briefed to the BBC and the Match of the Day team, because they covered it as well, was that what actually happened was that the VAR official, Darren England, who was refereeing in UAE on Thursday, by the way, and this is where people get their stupid conspiracy theories from, decided that the on-field decision had been goal, and he decided it was a clear onside and therefore check complete. And so literally gave Liverpool the goal. Do we understand that? That is what is massively different to, what about my team? Listen, all of them, every single one in history has a little bit of subjectivity where it's my opinion versus your opinion. Last week, Tottenham had a penalty against them with Christian Romero, which I think is a penalty. Most other Tottenham fans wouldn't have thought it was a penalty. I also thought Eddie Nketiah should have been sent off. That's a debatable one. Most Arsenal fans would probably disagree with that one. These are all opinions. By matter of fact, on Saturday evening, Liverpool scored a goal that VAR intended to award the goal. That was the decision. Once Tottenham had restarted play, by the letter of the law, they cannot then go back and reverse that decision. And of course, what happened was people said, you should just go back and obviously stop the play. By law, they can't do it. They should have just overwritten it and gone, hang on, this is a big cluster.
Yeah.
Give the goal. Use your bloody noggin, irrespective of what the rules say. And the reason, obviously, people said, you should take your time to... But they deliberated that it was check decision correct. Because the on-field decision was offside, Tottenham were ready to take the free kick. So when Hooper, the referee, has obviously been told, check complete, on-field decision is correct, he just goes, play.
Yeah.
And Tottenham are there ready to take the free kick. So there's like a second. I was in the stadium 2 minutes after the goal. They still had it on the screen, checking offside.
But player was carrying on.
And obviously, I don't know anything. I'm sitting in the football stadium. I don't show a replay or nothing. And I think even when Son scored, it had only just come off the screen, like a couple of minutes later. And that's why on Saturday night, I tweeted, and it doesn't mean I agree with it, it's what I tweeted. There's not enough characters I can put in things. And people can reply with their, you're right, James, or James, you're an idiot, whatever. I ain't read your replies, because as soon as I see one, I just mute the conversation. I've seen this already. So... the reason I tweeted on Saturday night is, in my opinion, and I'm not saying they should, Liverpool had grounds to appeal. Not that they should necessarily be given the chance to replay the game, but sorry on this incident does not count. It's not good enough. Liverpool were awarded a goal that they were not given. That is fact. Also, I tweeted and said that I wouldn't have a problem if Tottenham agreed to replay the game. Do I want Tottenham to replay the game? No, I'll take my 3 points, thank you very much. But I said I'd have no qualms with it. No qualms, because I almost feel like that would be the right thing to do, because the legitimacy of a football result was compromised. Liverpool scored and were winning 1-0. And that doesn't mean, by the way, that Tottenham wouldn't have come back and won. We've seen that several times this year. Maybe that would have happened. I'd also make the case that Tottenham's defending was so bad on the equaliser that was practically giving Liverpool a goal. But obviously the people, in terms of Postecoglou, Klopp, the players on the pitch, they wouldn't have known shit. I said on this podcast a couple of weeks ago, when they draw the lines, we need to get over the camera angle's not good. We have to trust it. We have to trust it. This causes in question. Everybody's looking back at all the decisions now going, was that right? Was that right? Has this happened before and we don't know it, when there's been several occasions in the past we haven't seen lines? And that's what made me so angry, is now we're having to sit here and talk about this. And football officiating now is completely under the table, worse than it's ever been in this country. Also, can all the teams that support small clubs who go, checking club badge, I noticed no one was tweeting that on Saturday, right? There is no conspiracy. It's just absolutely awful. As much as I dislike and hate VAR, that is absolute idiocy from the officials in the VAR room, because for me, there is no actual way that they could have seen, looking at their pictures, that they didn't know that offside was given in the game. No one. Nobody watching that game live, even Liverpool fans celebrating in the moment, would have known quite quickly that the offside flag had gone up and play had stopped. How in the world, with all the monitors and everything you've got in front of you, can you not know that the on-field decision is offside?
Especially if you guys are set up to take a free kick from where the offside's given. Yeah.
Liverpool, for me...
Do you think they checked?
They should that's what they've done. They've just checked it and done it wrong. I don't... To be honest...
Is this a cover-up story?
The word... Well, we'll find out. The word is that they didn't need to draw the lines because it was clear to the naked eye that it was definitely onside. And I think most people can agree with that.
I thought that.
Yeah.
It was easy to see.
It didn't need the lines to prove that Diaz was offside. They've looked at it because they think the on-field decision is goal and just gone, he's onside, let's go, let's play. Because also everyone's going, it's taking too long. So they'll look at it and go, well, he looks onside to us, let's go. It wasn't close enough to need the lines. He was comfortably onside. So they don't need the lines from that perspective, whether they use them or not. So, for me, in conclusion, I'm not saying that the game should be replayed, but Liverpool absolutely have the right to chase these avenues as hard as they do, because, sorry for this one, he's not good enough. It is different to all other errors because this is matter of fact.
Oh, that's good. That's a timer.
That's my timer.
Was that whole 10 minutes? That was quite long.
I'm still vexed about it because Saturday night I should have been enjoying Tottenham winning. I had this question in my mind going, well, I think Liverpool got grounds to appeal this, so how much should I be celebrating here? Don't get me wrong, when Matip hammered that in the roof of the net, I went potty. Please don't misunderstand that.
Yeah,
we'll talk about the football in the game later on this podcast.
I'm apathetic, is I suppose my opinion on it. Really,
apathetic.
Yeah, I don't care. Like, in the sense that, what difference does it make? Nothing's going to change. Type attitude towards it. We can moan as much as we want. But it's a nonsense. They're not going to change it. They're not going to take VAR out of football. So, we've got to deal with it until they can find competent people to actually run VAR. So.
They awarded Liverpool a goal and the goal wasn't given. I don't know if that's ever happened before.
That's crazy.
But and not just, he was challenging the keeper and maybe it was a foul or not. They awarded Liverpool a goal for something that was matter of fact. He was onside. This is what VAR was for, matter of fact. So, listen, we can look at things, I've seen people saying, Wolves should get to replay against Manchester United because Onana collided into Kalisic. We all think that's a penalty, but it's still subjective and opinion. It's different. This goal was matter of fact. That's why it's different to every other error.